Hey everybody, how you doing? Make sure this thing is running. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about learning a language. And I've already shown you what program I use. I use fluence.com. And I have used that to learn Mandarin Chinese, and I am using it to relearn Spanish. What I wanted to say on the topic is when I first started learning Mandarin, I got this program and I studied for 2 to 3 hours every day. And then when I finished the program, or when I got fairly close to the end of the program, I bought a ticket to go to China. And I went to some of the remote parts of China outside the main cities because you need to be able to speak in Chinese if you want to be able to talk to these folks. And so I wanted to test my ability to get around and to be able to see if I could successfully navigate my way around the country without the use of English. If you go to Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, and some of the other major cities, you'll find people who can speak some English, especially now. More people speak English now than when I first started going to China. But back then, that was how I immersed myself. And that's really what this is. It's an immersion into the local culture. And it does a couple of things for you. Number one, it forces you to use the language. Number two, it helps you to pick up on the local idioms so that you may be learning how to say hello, and it's a nice day, and are you hungry, and all these things a certain way. But what you'll find is that there's actually more effective ways to say these things when you go to these countries. It's also the ability to be able to engage with people in real life situation. And nothing more effective than having to deal with it in real time. It's like getting into a street fight, right? It's you can practice all you want on the mat, but when you get out into the street, there's no timeouts and there's no slow motion. It's all real time. And so you find out very quickly if you're capable or not. And if you practice actually translates to real world success or not. It's a little scary, that's for sure, especially that first time I went to China on my own into remote areas. Yeah, I was a little nervous, but I found out that even though my Chinese wasn't perfect, I knew enough to be able to converse. That's a whole story for another day. I'm not going to get into that. That could be a book, because having a white face in China, you could speak perfect Chinese, and there are going to be some people who aren't going to want to talk to you because they automatically will say "Ting Budong," I don't understand, before you even open your mouth. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. So I've been today is Saturday, the 23rd of February, I believe. Check. 24th. So I lose track of the days when I'm down here. And I have been studying the Fluence program. Back in high school, I was in Spain for 5 or 6 weeks for 1 quarter. And my Spanish was much better probably back then because I used it. And I had a better handle on the inventory or on the vocabulary. So the number of words that I remembered. So now it's just a re-immersion into when I go to a Spanish-speaking country, You don't need a lot of English words to get by for the basics. Just to smile and say hola, buenos dias, buenas tardes, por favor, gracias. Those words will go a long way. But if you want to ask directions and you want to ask how much things cost, it's a little bit more involved. But it's not super involved. You don't need to have full-scale conversations about politics or art or, religion. You don't need to have those to really enjoy the country. I'm here for the weather. That's pretty much what you see behind me is why I'm here. It's 80 to 85 degrees every day, and just spectacular. So that's what I wanted to say. So hopefully, if you have an interest in learning a language, see, in the United States, unless you grow up in a home that speaks another language, languages really are not reinforced until kids go to school. In many places, until kids get to high school. And by then, it's too late, in my opinion, or it's not too late, but it's harder, much harder. The time to really learn a language is when you're a child, if you can. But even as an adult, I took language as an adult, it's just going to be much harder. And immersing yourself into culture. So great thing about being in the United States is there's lots of Spanish spoken already in the United States. Many sections of the country, it's only Spanish. In fact, where I am in Manchester, New Hampshire, over the last 4 years, the city has probably, well, I can't put a number on it, significantly increased the amount of Hispanic population because the amount of stores, the amount of signs that are in Spanish have increased substantially. And I could be in the middle of Wyoming, in the middle of Colorado, or the middle of Michigan, in some remote areas, and I will come across stores and people where they only speak Spanish. They may also speak some English, but they primarily use Spanish. And so having Spanish is very helpful even in the United States now, especially if you go to Florida and Texas and New York and California, and even Manchester, New Hampshire. And pretty soon it'll probably be good to know Chinese too. Manchester, New Hampshire, where I am, there's a school there that focuses on Chinese students, and there have to be 400 students there from China. And you go to Boston, and I'd say it feels like it's like 30 or 40% of the students are from China in all the different schools in Boston. So you can try whatever program is effective for you, but I strongly encourage you to try fluens.com. I don't get paid for this. I just think it's a very effective program. And if you buy on Black Friday, I think that's the cheapest time of year that you're going to get a program. I think you can buy the program for, say, $230 or something like that. And if you call them up, who knows, maybe they'll sell it to you at that price at a different time of year. I don't know. I can't speak for them. But it will be, if you're really interested in a language, it will be the most effective $300, $250 that you've spent, because it's the best layout. I have tried Rosetta Stone. I have tried the tapes that you can get in the library that have been around since World War II that the CIA or FBI use. I forget the name of them. I've tried those. I've tried several other online programs. Fluens to me is by far the best program, and it's very effective at driving home the basics. And then from there, you can expand upon the basics. When you go to these countries, your vocabulary and your understanding of how to use the language will expand just by interacting with people. So being in the United States, just going to Mexico, Puerto Rico, Cuba, South America, Central America, even up in Canada, there's a lot of Hispanic speakers. So It's a very good language to learn, and I would say it's not extremely difficult to get to a basic level. So, hope everybody's enjoying this Saturday, and I do not miss the winter months. I'm very glad to miss the winter months. 2 months of winter is enough for me. And if anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'll do my best to answer. And definitely practice. And then, the other thing, anytime I go, I see people down here, a lot of these young kids, they use their smartphones to translate. I don't use my smartphone. I probably should. It's a good cheat. But instead, I go old school. And for Spanish, I think that this is an excellent dictionary. It's La Rus, and it's a English to Spanish, Español Inglés dictionary. And it has a section that translates from English to Spanish and from Spanish to English. So whether you're an English speaker or a Spanish speaker, and I got this in Colombia, and I spent 9,000 Colombian pesos, which is, I think it was $2 or $3. I forget already what the exchange rate is. Great investment. I also have a bigger dictionary for the Mandarin. And then when I go around and I need to reinforce my vocabulary, if you know how to say, so if I want to say, donde está, the restaurant, la restaurante, right? And I don't remember, I can say, disculpe, or perdóname, donde está la restaurante, or el restaurante, not la, el restaurante. And I don't remember how to say restaurant. Well, God help me if I don't remember how to say restaurant in Spanish. I can look it up. So definitely recommend that you reinforce this. And last thing I'll say on this, when you travel to a country where you're learning the language, you really see things in a refreshing and a unique way, because you're learning how to say all these things. So if you have a dictionary, or if you're with a friend, I can say, perdóname, disculpe, Maya, ¿cómo se dice en español? Right? So, yeah. Este es Bide, the whole world.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to say hello since you own this place?
Is a video for what? For other friends?
Yeah, it's live right now on the internet.
In the internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm showing them Casa Tres Lunas.
Okay, super.
Yeah, and I'm explaining, diga que es muy bien viaje a México aprender español.
Sí, perfecto.
Immerse, right? Es muy fácil aprender aquí.
Ajá.
And no está en los Estados Unidos.
Claro, sí. Ahora
Right.
hablas mucho mejor.
Right. Sí.
Okay.
Much easier.
Okay.
Yeah. Gracias. Okay, ciao. Couple things I'm never going to get. I can't. Long time ago when I was a child, they had those commercials, Rolling Writer, the double R's, Rolling Writer. And my brother could do it. It's the rolling R's going blah, 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 blah. I can't do that. If you can do that, God bless you. Because a lot of the R's in Spanish, you need to roll them. Like dog is perro. I can't roll my R's. It's supposed to be perro. But I can't do it. So that's going to be a disadvantage for me. The other thing is if I'm thinking in gringo, I'll be like, oh, el restaurante. But, instead of putting feeling into it, saying el restaurante, but there are some words where if you actually think in Spanish, it will come out a lot easier. The other thing is I forgot it already. Well, not important, I guess. But, and there's the difference between Spanish and Latin America and Mexican Spanish. Like when I was in school, I learned that the V's are pronounced like a B in most cases. So if I want to say I'm going to the beach, I say, yo voy a la playa. Whereas in Mexico, they say yo voy a la playa. So it's a little bit different. Me, I still subconsciously say yo voy. So it takes me some effort to say, yo voy. And the same thing with the double L's. The double L's, like if I wanted to say to arrive, llegar, they say llegar, like a J, llegar, llego. So when I'm hearing somebody speak, I have to remember to let that register of somebody, because in normal conversation, I mean, it's like a machine gun. It's like, blah, 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 blah. So the words get mixed together. So when I'm expecting to hear, llego aquí, and I hear llego aquí, it takes a split second for that to register. And that's the hardest part with immersion, is that a simple sentence like, yo voy a la casa, well, my brain can process that. But once they start putting, 2 sentences and 3 sentences out in the morning, I'm still translating the first sentence before I can get to the second. And that's where it's hard, very difficult. But that's where you just have to immerse and practice. And then the difficult part is when you get back to the United States. Me, I don't use it. I use English. Like right now, my Chinese. And the reason I went back to the United States after being in China is because I've gone directly from China to Mexico before. And the first week, I'm talking in Chinese to people here, and they're like, what? So even now, I'm thinking in Chinese, and then English, and then Spanish. And sometimes I'm in China, and I'm thinking in Spanish and English. So I don't know how these polyglots, which are multiple people who speak multiple language, they make it seem so easy. Tilo, that's Maya, who I was speaking to. Maya and Tilo own the house, and he's from Germany, and he speaks 5 languages. And it's amazing to watch people. They switch and interchange between the languages. And I do that sometimes as well, because I don't know the word in Spanish. So I'll be like, yeah, yo estoy en the avenue, because I don't know what the word is, or I'll try to guess what the word is in Spanish. And sometimes it's comical. So bottom line is, best way to learn and reinforce a language is reward yourself by buying a ticket or getting yourself to a place where they speak the language, where the language is written, where the language is spoken, and where it's challenging for you to use English. And I can guarantee you that even though you might have a little bit of a panic attack, you'll be able to handle it. And have the faith and have the courage to go do it. And you don't have to go for a year, but try a month if you can. Go for at least a month. A week probably is not going to be enough time. So, and you can try listening to music, reading books, but even now, I can't really listen to songs and watch certain TV programs. It's like listening to machine gun fire, So many times, make sure you ask the simple words like como and por favor and, habla despacio, por favor, which is slowly, please, and just have them slow down, because if you can slow down the pace and even initially break up your sentences into, so instead of saying 2 or 3 times, you can say, perdóname, or disculpe, those mean excuse me, whichever one you want, and then just break it into saying, ¿dónde está el baño? Where's the bathroom? Or ¿cuántos es este? How much is this? Tiene hamburguesa, or tiene hamburgers, or tacos, or do you have tacos, or Tiene agua? Do you have water? Break it down into simple things, and then as you become more comfortable, don't break into it. Okay, so oh, hi Basha, I didn't see this. Hey Charlene, how you doing? Rolling R's in New York. Yeah. Hope you ladies are doing okay. The J is pronounced as an H. Yes, sometimes, like Thursday is hueve, right? And the H is silent many times, like ice. Ice is spelled Hielo, which is hielo. So ice is H is silent. And rolling R's. Charlene, can you do the rolling R's? Rolling writer. Remember that commercial? Rolling writer. Hey, Maya.
Yeah.
I'd like you to say, because I can't do the double R's, can you say rolling writer in the double R's? Rolling, like perro. ¿Cómo se dice perro? Perro. Rolling writer with double R. ¿Puede?
Rolling rider.
Yeah, en español. No, like rolling with the double R. Yeah, rolling. See, no puedo. Rolling. Puede. Perro. Puede. Hey, Tahala. Fantastico. No puedo hablar perro. You can. Awesome, Charlene. Awesome. Jose. Yeah, right. Jose. Right. Exactly. Yeah, the J. But there are, and juice is jugos. So that's an H sound as well. You think it's easier for women to roll the R's? Oh, you roll your R's in Polish? I didn't know that. They roll R's in Polish too. Speaking Polish. Yeah, I didn't know that. Awesome. Okay, Basha, since you've been studying Spanish, how do you say the beach is very beautiful? Hey, por favor, diga hola a mi amigas. Aquí is camera.
Hola.
Hola! See here, let's see if you're on the camera. There you go.
Hola.
Hola! ¿Cómo se llama?
José Manuel.
Manuel, ¿vive aquí?
Sí.
Sí, en la playa.
Sí. En Agua Blanca.
Manuel jugó football en la playa. He
Agua
shoots, he scores. Right? And Manuel trabaja aquí, ¿sí?
Sí.
Sí. He works in the house. So, Maya y Tilo, muy bien personas.
Sí.
Yeah. Excelente. Gracias. Personas muy bien. That's the other thing is Spanish. It's like Chinese. Things are backwards from English, and I'm always saying things. Yeah, la playa muy buena. Excelente, Basha. Don't mess around with Basha. Watch out. She's learning. Are you what level are you on in the program, Basha? Did I lose this? Well, I've been here let's see. Today is my 9th day here. Let's see. Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today's my 10th day. 10th day? Yeah, today's my 10th day here. Level 1, Section 19. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it would be interesting to see if you're knowing Polish fluently, if that has any assistance at all. I think it will, because your brain is probably open to learning languages a lot easier than probably most people in the U.S. who don't already speak another language. You're doing it 3 times each? Wow. Well, I noticed that in the level 1, they reinforce the level. When you get up to the higher levels, they'll be reinforcing everything that you learn. They do a good job of doing a review over and over again, which is helpful because, you know, when you're working on, you know, learning, you know, beach, la playa, and, you know, you're like, come on, guys, how many times do I need to repeat la playa? And then a week goes by and all of a sudden they're like, beach. And you're like, oh, what is beach? So they do a good job to remember that. Polish is like Spanish? Wow, how is Polish like Spanish? I find Polish to be extremely difficult, especially the spelling. Like, I only know, hey, jak się masz? Dobrze. That's all I know. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here every night. Wow. Well, you should know. You know Polish. But if Polish is like Spanish, then you'll probably be an expert soon. And nice thing, Basha, is, I mean, there's a lot of Mexicans and Hispanic speakers in North Carolina. So I'm sure it will be very easy for you to practice your Spanish. Unless you and Cliff want to get on a plane and come on down to Mexico. Bamba, bam, bamba. Hey, puede cantar la bamba. La bamba, bam, 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 la bamba. That's it. All I know is, no soy marinero, yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. A la bamba, a la bamba, a la bamba. Yeah, English is a very difficult language. Most people who speak English incorrectly. I'm one of them. Because I remember I had a girlfriend one time who had to take this English test for her job to achieve a raise and a certain level. And I'm like, and I was making fun. I was joking with her. I'm like, what idiot can't pass an English test? And she's like, hey, you're so smart, take it. And I failed. I think I got all of them, not all of them, but I got like 25%. And it was stupid. It was things that I just can't remember. And I remember when I was in the English class with Ting Ting, when she was taking English. Oh my God, was it difficult. Because I haven't studied these English in probably 30 years. I mean, or even longer now. Back then, probably 30 years, where you were learning all the basics of English and how the English works. And they go to those levels. So Ting Ting, her technical English was better than my technical English. You know, like, for example, do most people know when to use I or me, or, you know, just the conjugation of certain verbs and prepositions? And it gets very, very difficult. But the good thing about English, and I've said this in videos before, is I could come up to you and say, I hungry, me hungries. And you know that, you know, I need something to eat. Whereas maybe some other languages you can do the same thing, but, you know, it's technically not correct. But I've always said, if you can communicate with people, if you can get what's inside your head, you can communicate that to others and get what you're asking for or achieve your objectives, then you've accomplished your task. You know, it may not be pretty, it may not be correct, but at the end of the day, it got you where you need to be. That's how I look at a language. And And so with my Spanish, with my Chinese, even with my English, I'm not trying to be, I mean, I would like to be, but my goal is to effectively communicate what I'm trying to communicate. That's my main goal. So if I need a bus ticket, if I need a plane ticket, if I need help, if I need change money, whatever it is, if I'm trying to order a hamburger, that's the main goal, is get exactly what I have, or be able to ask questions and understand the answers. That's a big one, right? Because you go into a restaurant in some of these countries and they don't have English menus. And so it's like, okay, what do I order? You know, bread and water. So going through and be able to ask them, like, say, hey, I like eggplant. You have eggplant? Or, hey, I like spaghetti, or I like tomatoes, or I don't want it spicy, or I would like coffee with milk, or, yeah, those basic things. So, hey, Charlene, I love you too. So I hope you're doing well. And you take care of yourself. You know, Charlene, I was thinking of you the other day. It's too bad she just left. There was a woman here from in the house, a woman from Argentina, and she specializes in not just massage but healing. And I asked her. I remember you telling me that you do the Reiki. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I was explaining that to her, and she does some Eastern arts, but she doesn't do Reiki. She's familiar with it. And she's like, oh, did you get your friend to give you the Reiki? And I was like, no, I didn't even think of it, you know. And she's like, well, it's good, because technically you don't want somebody who knows you well to do it, because she said it's better if the person is not necessarily a stranger, but they don't know you well. And she said it's more effective. I don't know if you'd agree with that or not. So, but whether it's Reiki or language, here we go. I mean, even music. All of these are, in essence, learning, right? It's learning a new language. Reiki is a language or a skill, or I should say they're in all languages, but they're skills, you know. And that's what we constantly have to do, is we need to continuously be challenging our brains and learn things. And that means don't spend, well, really any time watching TV. People should throw their TVs out. I mean, if you want to watch a program now and then, you can watch it online, but especially in this day of information, it's so easy to get information and create information that's really, I think, how we improve as a person. It's kind of like the fish swimming in the ocean here. If they just stop and they stay near the same rock, eventually some predator is going to come along and learn their routine, and they're going to be eaten. So they're constantly moving. Or they may have patterns that go along with the moon or the sun. So, yeah, TV is a time thief. I mean, I've been guilty of that in the past. I remember I was cutting grass one day, and I remember this. It was a Saturday or Sunday, and I would just leave the TV on as noise, like you leave the radio on. And I remember I came in, it was a very hot day, and I was drinking water, and I heard the TV, and I was like, why the heck do I even have a TV? You know, why do I even have it? And I called up the next day and I canceled it, got rid of it. I had satellite, and that was probably, 10 years ago. So, and there are a couple programs that I do like. I hear about them, like the Game of Thrones I like, and there's another show that I like. See it, can't even remember it. It's so great. And I'll just watch them with no commercials. Oh, good thing about no commercials is you can watch an hour show in a half an hour without any commercials. And I typically will watch these programs at 1.5 times speed. And I found that helps with languages as well. When I watch anything on YouTube or on the internet, if it has the ability to increase the speed, I'll watch in 1.5 to 2 times. And I find that it's like, blah, 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 blah. Really helps. So, well, beautiful day. See, I'm getting a tan already. All right, everybody, I'm going to go. I think I'm in their way. They're cleaning up the kitchen here. I was going to actually show the breakfast this morning. We had huevos mexicanos, which are Mexican eggs, and they put Huevos Mexicanos tiene jalapeno.
Sí,
Sí,
también.
yeah. So she put in the jalapeno, peppers and tomatoes and queso. Eat queso?
Tomate y cebolla.
No queso. Okay, queso would be nice. So yeah, tomatoes and the jalapenos. It's delicious. And then just like the McDonald's burritos I get, what they do is they have the tortillas. I don't see them here, but they have like a kilo of tortillas that they buy, and it's in paper. And you open up the paper, they come out steaming hot. You take it, and they have frijoles, which are beans, and you spread on the frijoles like butter, and then you put in the huevos mexicano, roll it up, eat it, and then they have fresh fruit here. And today they had giant bananas that melt in your mouth, and they had some mango here, which is the best mango I've ever had. It literally would touch your mouth and just dissolve. Incredible. Yeah, incredible. And then they had some pineapple. Put that with some yogurt and some granola. So I've been eating like a pig here in the morning. It's like late morning. It's delicious. So I have to get out and walk it off. So everybody have a great day. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I'm sure I'm forgetting to talk about something. So if you have any questions or if there's anything I forgot, please let me know. Okay. Take care, ladies. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Adios. Hasta luego.